Okay, let's go ahead and jump back to the code in our editor. So again, we loaded in our functions.inc file, which we'll look at in just a moment. Next, we run a function called start adventure session, which if you remember from our previous example, starts a session and then establishes a couple of session variables that we're going to use for the game. We then check to see if a command has been sent through the command form. And if so, we go ahead and use the run command function, which will check to see if it's a valid command, and then run any code associated with that command. And finally, we're rendering the game here. Now it's clear that from our previous example, we've removed the bulk of the code. Now if we look at our previous example here, I'm going to jump over to our test.php file. We had several sections in our code. The first was where we initialized a session and some variables, and then the next section was a set of functions. And if we scroll down, you'll see that this set of functions lasts quite a while. And then following that, we have some data here. We have standard text, and then we have this data variable that includes information about each place on our map. And after all of this, we run the command that the user input into the form, and then we follow that by building out our output and rendering it. Now in this updated version, what we've done is split out these different sections. So we just looked at the index.php file, which included basically this whole chunk right here. Next, what we're going to do is look at the functions.inc file, which includes the function declarations and nothing else. So if we go ahead and jump to our examples directory and we open up the functions.inc file, you'll see as we scroll down that we have several functions here. I'm just going to keep scrolling. And there's no actual code outside of the functions. Now putting all of your functions in a single file makes it something called a library. This means that other scripts can include this file to get access to all of the functions in the file. And because all of the code is encapsulated inside of functions, none of it is going to run until the script explicitly calls one of these functions. In general, it's a good idea to put your functions in a separate file so that they can be reused by other scripts if they need to be. So now instead of going through this file line by line, let's go ahead and compare it using a file comparison tool with our test.php file and see what we've changed from our previous version. So I'm going to go to the example file directory, and I'm going to open up both test.php and our functions.inc file in a file comparison tool called FileMerge. You can use a variety of tools for this. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over for the left side, and then I'm going to drag functions.inc over for the right side. And I'm going to click the compare button. Now if the structure looks strange to you, go ahead and take a look at the file comparison tool video where we explain the benefits of file comparison and how to read this markup.